Hello everyone, my name is Marah, and the case I will be covering today is about Bianca Piper, who was 13 years old when she went missing from Foley, Missouri in March of 2005. Just a quick reminder before I get started that I always try to do the best research and get the most accurate information I can for every single case that I cover. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's case. Bianca Noelle Piper was born on December 26th of 1991. She was said to be very artistic. And in 2005, Bianca was an 8th grader at Winfield Middle School. She lived with her mom, Shannon Tanner, and her mom's boyfriend. She was in special education classes because she suffers from ADHD and severe bipolar disorder. She was said to have mood swings, aggressive tendencies, anxiety attacks, and she also struggled with self-control. And in her early childhood, Bianca was even hospitalized for this. She was taking medication daily, and if she does not take it, she can become disoriented and also hallucinate. And to help with some of her anger management, Bianca had been seeing a therapist. One of the treatments that the therapist suggested to her and her mom was when she became aggressive, to have her mom drive her down the road and drop her off, so then Bianca could have time to stop and think as she walked back to their house. So it said on March 10th of 2005, Bianca began to throw a tantrum because her mother asked her to do some chores and she did not want to do them. They only had tried this treatment one other time, but Bianca had found it helpful. So her mom said that Bianca asked her to drive her down the road. Said that it was snowing and it was around 54 degrees outside when her mom first dropped her off at McIntosh Hill Road in Foley, Missouri. This was about a mile from their home. She was wearing a lime green blouse, a gray Adidas hooded sweatshirt, blue jeans, and white sneakers. She also had a flashlight in her possession. Bianca was last seen at 6:15 p.m. When Bianca did not return home by 8:20 p.m., her mom decided to report her as missing. She has not been seen or heard from since. At first, investigators thought that maybe Bianca had got lost on her way home, and if this was the case, then she would have succumbed to the elements pretty quickly because it did drop below freezing at a point in the night. It is said that there was an extensive search for Bianca, but they did not find any sign of her, so at this point, investigators believed that she was abducted. They did do a polygraph test on her mom and her mom's boyfriend, and it is said that they both passed. They also interviewed Bianca's dad extensively, but no family has been considered suspects in her case. In 2007, investigators began looking into Michael J. Delvin, believing that he may have been involved in Bianca's disappearance, because Sean Horbeck, who was 15 and disappeared in 2002, and William Ben Ownby, a 13-year-old boy who disappeared in 2007, were both found alive in Michael's house in January of 2007. Ben had been missing for 5 days, and Sean had been missing for over 4 years. Both boys had been held against their will, and Michael ended up pleading guilty to kidnapping, amongst other things, and he was sentenced to life in prison. Authorities initially suspected that Michael Devlin could be linked to other missing child cases and formed a multi-jurisdictional task force to investigate this theory. In October of 2007, the task force dissolved. It couldn't find any evidence that he was involved with any other missing children. Bianca's father passed away in 2009, but her mom and sister are still alive, and they continue to look for her. Her mother now lives in St. Charles, Missouri, and Bianca's case remains unsolved. The investigation to her case does remain open, but at this point it is considered a cold case. In September of 2014, Tiffany Piper, who is Bianca's sister, was sentenced to 8 years in prison for trafficking 2 high school girls in 2012. According to the prosecutor, Tiffany Piper was initially a victim of trafficking herself. On February 3rd of 2023, investigators drained the septic tank of the house where Bianca went missing less than a mile from. They worked with Othram Lab to see if they could possibly find some of Bianca's DNA. I do not think anything came from this, but it is good to know that investigators are still trying to find her. But what do you all think happened to Bianca? I have seen all kinds of different theories as I've been researching this. One of them is that they believe that her mom did have something to do with her disappearing. I also personally find it kind of suspicious that her mom would go drop her off when it is cold and it's snowing. But the only people that really know the truth are the ones that were there that day. If you know what happened to Bianca Piper, please speak up. I'm going to leave all the phone numbers down below. And as of today, the Amber Alert for Bianca remains active. But thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you'll comment, subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye. Bianca Piper went missing from Foley, Missouri on March 10th of 2005. She is described as a white female. She was 13 years old at the time and stood at 5'6", and she weighed 185 pounds. She was last seen wearing a green blouse, a gray Adidas hooded sweatshirt, blue jeans, and white sneakers. She was carrying a flashlight. Bianca suffers from attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and severe bipolar disorder, and it may be difficult to tell that she is ill. She takes several daily medications, and if she does not take them, she may become disoriented and have hallucinations. Bianca may be in need of medical attention for her illnesses. She has brown hair, brown eyes. Bianca's nickname is B, and some agencies refer to her as Bianca Tanner. She has scars on her arms and legs and a scar on her abdomen. Her ears are pierced, and Bianca may wear her hair in a ponytail.